So I'm at the end of a very full day, so I'm pretty roughed up about the face right now. Damn, I need some more wax. That's not all I needed, so I hope you guys didn't get a good visual of that. And if you did, my bad. So, anywho, I figured I'd go ahead and tell you guys about my night since, and maybe I'll do it regularly, because I will forget. I will forget. I don't have a bad memory in general, but when it comes to things that it seems like you shouldn't forget that quickly, I do. And I should probably review Alex Cross too, because I will forget a movie. I will forget a movie in its entirety. Although I have the most insightful, and I'll forget the whole movie. I'll forget the plot line. I'll forget the storyline. I forget how the movie ended. But anyway, I went way too far with that. So, yeah, I went dancing, and I saw my doc. Of course, it's always a pleasure to see him. Always a pleasure to see him. So this is how the night went. I go in and I find my little corner that I find. Wherever I am, there is always a corner that belongs to me. And this particular evening, the camera guy was in my corner, which turned out to be awesome because it kind of blocked off the sofa for me. You know, so that was my sofa and I didn't have to worry about sharing it. Well, for the most part I didn't, because let me tell you how it went. So I walked in and had a seat, like, because that's what I do. That's how I roll. And here comes this drugged up bitch. And it's not that kind of party, mind you, but she came in with her looking like Wendy Williams. And she came over and sat next to me, and she slapped my leg. Girl, hey girl, like we met there or something. like we were girls, and we like, hey, I'm gonna meet you at the place at the lounge. And it didn't work. I would not spend any voluntary social energy with a female like this. You know, let me backtrack that, because she turned out to keep me in personal stitches, although I didn't laugh out loud. Internally, she had me cracking up, and I had to appreciate her persistence and her uninhibited nature, not giving a damn what people think or how they feel. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because she didn't really care if I didn't feel like being bothered. We were homies. As far as she's concerned, there's nothing that she did to me that could make me not like her. So we gotta be cool. So let's just have a conversation. Anyway, Wendy Williams brings her weaved out ass over in a sequin tank blouse, and she's like, girl, she's like, I like that dress, that's cute. And I was like, thank you. You know, I nodded, thank you. And she was like, I used to come to these things all the time, girl. I don't know what happened to these things. And I'm sitting there just like, did this bitch think she know me? But she didn't. She didn't think she knew. She knew she didn't know me. She just didn't have a problem, you know. And she continued to say some things that I didn't pay attention to. I don't know what she was talking about, but she was definitely talking. And it was definitely to me that she was talking without an inkling of, you know, caution as to whether I felt like her sitting next to me and having a conversation. And so she's looking up at everybody that walked by like she's finna say, oh, hey, like everybody knows her. But she doesn't do that because she doesn't know these people. So she's just looking up at everybody. You know how when you see somebody you don't know coming, you don't just like have this energy like you're about to speak. She had this energy like she was about to speak to everyone, even though she wasn't. And so finally, I don't know what catches her eye across the room, but she slaps me on my leg and she goes, "Girl, I'll be back." Like as if my next step would be to hold her seat. Boo-boo. I'm telling you, I don't know what she was on, but her eyes, never mind. She was a happy individual, I tell you that much. She was happy. So then Doc normally gets to a place before me. If he's going to be at that place, he usually gets there before me. So I guess this time I got there before Doc. And so as soon as he walked through the door, and I know he had just walked in because he still had on his coat and hat. Now let me tell you about Doc. No, never mind. Doc gets his own video. Anywho, so Doc comes in and I look up, and I'm not very receptive on impact with people I don't know. I'm good with that. So you can interpret it as rude or however you want to do it. But yeah, I'm not really receptive to people until after they have displayed character of some sort. So Doc comes in and he touches me on my elbow, and I look up and I go, "Oh, hey." So my arms open because I love him. So I was going to give him a big old hug, and he had his coat and hat on. Oh, and he had on this 100% cashmere coat. I know what that feels like. It was beautiful. But he always dresses with class, this guy. I give him a big old hug, and he wants to go immediately on the dance floor, of course. So we go to the dance floor and dance. He knows that I don't dance with people with hats on, but he just wanted to go. He spotted me and wanted to gave an embrace, and he wanted to go straight to the dance floor because that's how we roll. And so at the end of the song, I looked at him, and I usually grab his hand and tell him thank you, as a lady should do a gentleman who has asked her to dance. And and I said, "Would you like to take a moment and go remove your coat and hat?" And so he nodded, and he made a beeline to check his coat and hat. When I sat back down in my little corner, the camera guy leaned over and he said, "That's an interesting choice, that you made your first choice to dance." And I guess because he saw me decline other guys' offers to dance with me. And he said, "That's an interesting choice." And so he goes, "That guy is," and he tells me he has all these doctorate degrees and about how brilliant he is. He's a genius, and he has like 1 million businesses, and he travels and all of these things, and it'll take all day to share his roster of accomplishments and contributions to the entire earth, not just the community. Needless to say, Doc and I got it in on the dance floor the entire evening. But I also wanted to tell you about this dude. So this dude rolls up on me when I'm seated on my little sofa, and he leans down and he says, "You owe me a dance from last time. Remember you said you was gonna dance with me?" Okay, just so you know, from me to you, everything out of this dude's mouth is a lie. But he says, "Yeah, you owe me a dance. You remember you told me you were gonna dance with me?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Yeah, I remember because you had those same earrings on, and your hair was the exact same way. I'll never forget it. Between me and you, the earrings that I had on, I have never worn before. They're not new, and I just purchased them, and they have been put away for years. How about that? I've never worn them in public before." As far as my hairstyle goes, I have flat ironed my hair 3 times in the past several years. 3. None of those times did I go dancing with my hair flat iron. So my hair wasn't like this. I don't wear my, let's just say he was lying. So I looked at the guy and I said, I think you may have me confused with someone you know. And he said, no. He said, no, I distinctly remember, because you told me you was a diva. And I looked at him and said, I have never in my life referred to myself that way, nor do I generally mesh with people who do. So that definitely was not me. And so he took his tail between his legs and moved on about his merry albino way. And I'm basking in the thought of what type of bitch would really respond to a dude like this. Like, not only is this dude will have no respect for a female in a relationship. Not only is he telling this lie, he's going to add details to convince me that the lies are true. Like, what kind of dude could manage a relationship with a real woman in general life who does that? Like, what's going on in your life that you haven't grown the fuck up right now? And the truth is, it's probably easy to find a female, because there are females that go for that stuff all the time. Like, really? You lying about something that small and then trying to convince me that the lie is still true after I'm telling you nobody on earth outside of anybody that's been in my personal home has ever seen these earrings. The earrings and the hairstyle, both of which haven't been done in this environment. I call myself a diva. You guys seen a couple of videos of me. Can you see me telling somebody that I would not dance with them because I'm a diva? People might make that interpretation. People that look at people who carry themselves with class and call them sadiddy, so to speak. You know, they may imagine that I would say something like that. But people who know what that standoffishness is, I call myself a diva. I laugh at females who do. I'm not a diva. And bitches who are divas don't call themselves a diva. They leave that for their peasants to do. I wanted to punch this bitch in the mouth and then send him to the timeout corner until I say you can come out. Send your young-minded ass in the corner right now. And say something else, you gonna get detention too. Oh, I just wanted to chastise his dumb ass. So yeah. Oh, and I saw another guy friend of mine. He's not a friend, but he's more of a friend than anybody in there. So anyway, I ran into him. We just run into each other regularly, and we have ever since I started spending time dancing out here. Sometimes I would run into him all the time, and it got to where, like, he would kind of check. Crap. So anyway, I would run into this guy from time to time, and he never did anything inappropriate, which made us more comfortable, like now. And so, and he was always like really easy to talk with. He approached me cautiously and casually, but not insecurely, but still cautiously, because he knew I was guarded. Of course, he had obviously, you know, he'd seen me decline invitations. Like, I don't accept drinks from people. Now, talking to you guys, you're only going to hear about the people that I would ever talk to in a million years. And you're going to be able to count on one hand the number of people that I actually have casual conversation with. extended casual conversation. So I see him and I give him a hug and I'm like, and I tell him like, this dude rocks a chocolate suit like nobody's business. And most guys get, you know, typical black, gray, navy, but he will get a deep chocolate brown suit, and he is dark, he is soil brown. He's soil, he's soil brown. It smells good. He will get a deep chocolate. I want to grab an actual piece of chocolate, but I don't want you to bust me for cheating on my diet. So anyway, I ran into this dude, and I didn't finish telling you about Doc. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with the albino story, because maybe some of you dudes will. I don't know why you think this. I don't know what makes you think some of the very revealing shit you do is impressive or attractive. And maybe it's because it is to average females, but not women. Not women. Anyhow, Guru Smooches, just wanted to tell you about this, that, and the other.